acid.
Like that.
Eventually, when I have the money to, I'll have antacid on hand for when she can take it before she eats, because she has to take antacid before she eats. The doctor said if she does that, she'll stop coughing. But it's just because she ate. You ate good. She just, or no, I don't think she just ate something. Because I was going to say she ate garlic bread, but no. Then save money? Save money? Are you kidding me? I was hungry, so I went and got some chicken wings. That's what I wanted. My mom wanted some, so I said, let's go. Oh boy, are people gonna be mad?
Garlic bread. Ooh, I like garlic bread.
Boy, oh boy, people are gonna be mad.
Yes, I do. I do inhalers. I have albuterol and Q-Var.
Yeah. Jesus.
If you guys are wondering, and I'm under doctor's care, and it's just that when I eat something, I cough a lot. So that's why he prescribed 2 inhalers.
Yeah. I can buy... Why would you buy medicine at the Dollar Tree? I mean, some of the medicine's good, but would you trust it if it's Dollar Tree? Actually, I was at the Dollar Tree and I could have bought some. It's okay, because we went laundry. So... Man... Are there any good games I should get for the Switch? Not right now, but later. There's a lot of people in here. There's 1,000 people. Usually there's more than that, but that's okay. We're a good amount. It doesn't really matter about viewers, to be honest with you. Like, I don't care about the am I explaining myself, saying that I already said I've said all I can say to a certain extent. I can't say anymore. So don't talk to me about priorities when I can't tell you if I'm getting a place or not, because I don't need people in my business. So if I'm talking about getting things, that must mean I have my priorities already. Thank you. Don't assume that I don't have my priorities like some people. Okay? Who literally had their kids on an air mattress buying Louis Vuitton, but people said they have their life together. No, they don't. I have my life together. I literally am doing whatever is necessary from the lots of money that I have made, which I am getting paid on the 15th this month. So thank you. I greatly appreciate all the subscribers, all the supporters, all the people who have helped me, because that money is really going to help tremendously.
All the supporters you had now tremendously helped us.
Yes, and they think that I'm not doing the right things.
Oh no, wait, they're gonna see.
They'll see.
I'm not just saying it either.
Just like how people love to say I have some kind of disorder, that I don't know how I act like a child. That makes no freaking sense whatsoever, considering the fact I know what you're talking about. People will literally go and they will spend money first before they pay their bills. That's not how it works, okay? Actually. So, thank you. It means a lot. This support, this subscriptions, all of this, you're gonna really see. Oh, I mean, they're gonna see, but they're gonna see something else they ain't gonna like.
That really bugs me that people think they can diagnose you.
Just wait till they see something else they ain't gonna like.
Yep.
Cause something that we're doing, they're not gonna like that.
That's okay. We will. I'll be eating chicken cheesy Alfredo that I make.
Exactly. We just gotta get there. Can you get much higher? The sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on pressing on. The sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want. Sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want.
Oh, yeah. You guys don't believe us, but
Have what you
we
want,
do have a
be
lot of
what you
supporters.
want.
And I know this because they're coming to me because she don't check her messages because of all the hate.
I like Notorious B.I.G. I'm sorry. Well, no, actually, I shouldn't like him. He's a POS. What he said about Raven Simone when she was 9. Man, why are all these talented people disgusting human beings? Did it smell? Did it smell? Did it smell? Did it smell? Oh, you have to. There's a song. There's a lyric in one of his songs, and he says some disgusting things about a certain women. And in that same song, he says something about Raven Simone, who was 9. What?
Did you turn your phone down?
Oh, I don't know. It's not gonna work anyways. That thing is it doesn't work.
Do those cards.
But yeah, if you look up the lyrics, I didn't even know this until someone mentioned it, and I was like, really? I didn't know, because I don't think I've ever heard that song. Convict music, and you know me up front. I see you winding and grinding. Show my face. I can't because it's dark. It won't pick me up. And I don't got a light because the battery is being wonky. It's a wonk-donk battery. But that's okay. At least we're in a car. We're not freezing out under a tent. So I'm thankful. We have this SUV. So, yeah. Who's that? Donk, donk, donk. Let me serve me some soda because I'm thirsty. I'm debating whether or not to have a Ferrero Rocher, cause I like those. They were up front. It was like $5 for the chocolate, so I got Lindor's, and I got Ferrero Rocher. So yeah, because they were up front. It was Dollar Tree, believe it or not. That is so funny that Dollar Tree is still called Dollar Tree, but it wasn't $1. It was $5. I need insurance to buy a house? No, you don't. You don't need insurance to buy a house. The only thing about buying a house is if you don't have if you don't have house insurance, it's your fault. So if there's a flood and our house washes away, there's nothing we could do about it because we didn't have homeowners insurance. Mind you, I said mind you, damn it. Anyways, it would be dumb to own a house without homeowners insurance. But you don't technically have to have it. If your house burns down, if another house burns down next to your house, it's your responsibility. If someone else burned your house down, there's nothing you could do because you don't have homeowners insurance.
And don't think we're stupid enough to buy a house without it. We're going to make sure we have the money for everything for a house. We're not dumb and stupid.
They act like we don't know how to own a house when we lived in 2 houses. That makes no sense considering the fact one of the houses we were paying $2,000 in bills.
Yeah.
It wasn't cheap. That's the only thing about homeowners insurance is if you don't get it and something happens to your house, that's your fault, because if all of your stuff goes, That's the only thing that's good for homeowners insurance is tornadoes, floods. We don't get tornadoes or anything like that. We get mostly floods. So if it was to flood, or if someone's house caught fire and our house went with their house, that's the only thing, why you would need homeowners insurance. Or if something faulty in your house causes your house to catch fire, of course. Someone sets your house on fire, arson. I don't know if homeowners insurance works for that, but
We'll just show them.
How much do I think a house costs? Well, actually, there was a house that has sold for $200,000. It depends on what type of house you're getting. Now, a house is gonna cost a lot more depending on the square footage. See, if I want to get a house, which I'm probably gonna have to get a house with 4 or 5 bedrooms, maybe. I'm not too entirely sure because my dad's gonna want a bedroom for his office, but I need a bedroom for my streaming. Rather than streaming from my room, I could have my own streaming room for now. And then my mom could use that room for her arts and crafts stuff or a sewing room when I work on, cause I'm literally gonna work on my social medias and, make a stable income so I could have my own house, right? Cause I don't want to live with my parents forever, but just for the time being, I want to have my own streaming room separate from my room. That might be a possibility. A filming room, streaming room, makeup room. I'll have my gaming stuff. And then I'll have my purple vanities. Because I want my gaming room to be a purple setup. So it's going to be kind of like, that's what I'm going to be doing. So for the time being, my dad's going to want his own office. So he's going to have... We might have to get 5 bedrooms, and that's going to be expensive. It depends. We might just get 3. 3 for now, or 4. Because at that point, I don't want to overcrowd my room, and it depends on the size of the rooms too. So, because obviously, that's included in the square footage. So, depending on the square footage means it's going to cost a lot more. It's going to be a lot more expensive. Now, if we do qualify, if we want to do, but I don't really want to do that because you have to monitor your electricity, which means we couldn't use really too much electricity. There are programs for solar powered and solar energy, which saved you thousands of dollars in electricity bills. That is something we could look into if our area qualifies for that. But again, we'd have to monitor our electricity. We couldn't use so much. And, I have a feeling my family uses a lot of energy, leaving lights on and everything. I can't control what they do. Then... it depends on the area. What area are we going to look at? The area depends on how much it costs as well. Because if it's a nice area with good views, it's going to be a lot of money. Again, that is something you have to look into. Homeowners insurance. On top of that, we got to have money to get furniture. Furniture is not free. I mean, we could go to the thrift store and pick up some furniture. Because there are some things I would like to do, I saw some cool stuff that I want to do that is like, what do you call it? It's like DIY furniture stuff that I might want to do, but that'll come when we have the money to do so. Because, there's a Lego table I wanted to do and some other stuff. But, right now we just need to focus on getting furniture, not DIY stuff. I do understand thrift stores have some good furniture, but sometimes Goodwill overprices their stuff. So I would just rather buy a brand new, something that's not really expensive, that we can get. I'm thinking a love sack couch, because those are the most comfortable couches ever. Now I know those are expensive, But, well, I don't know how much expensive, but there's so much that takes it to the account. Plus, on top of that, you know, that's why I gotta keep my social medias going so I can help, you know, pay the bills and stuff like that. Plus, you know, we'll have money to pay the bills and stuff, but I need to start working on how I'm gonna design my house and start getting my house together, because I have to figure out what I want my house to look like. You know, what design I want, and then go from where I want my house to be at. Cause, you know, that's well, no, actually, you don't need to buy a house first, because it depends on what area and what houses are available. We can't just look at a house and say we want it, because then it might get sold. We have to wait till we have the money down on the house, the down payment, the house. People are like, you have to have money for the mortgage. A mortgage is when you take a loan out on your house. We don't have a mortgage. The only thing we're gonna have is property taxes, and we might not even have property taxes. If my dad, because he's a veteran, if he literally, well, probably not goes through the VA to get a house, but if he uses being a veteran, right, which he should, we won't have to pay property taxes, because veterans don't have to pay taxes on their property. That would really help us. That way we don't have to pay property taxes. That's something we can alleviate, because he is a veteran. So he's allowed to. But again, you know, these are things that we have to look into, because my dad could technically use a VA program to buy a house, but obviously we'll have the money to buy the house, but that way it won't cost so much, because he's a veteran, you know. That'll really help us. But I don't know if he would be willing to do that, because we can't wait for him. We still, like, I'm not saying like they'll buy the house for us. We're gonna buy the house because we have the money.
If you don't believe us, look it up. There's programs for the veterans, and they don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, veterans don't have to pay property taxes on their houses. So a lot of veterans get help if you ask for it. That's the only thing we could probably talk. But as far as it goes, us getting a house, we can't wait for him to get help with these programs, because he literally has help to buy a house. He already has the help, but then he does it, and then he says, "Nah, we don't need them," and then we're stuck. And we if we don't buy the house, he's not gonna do it. We have to get the house ourselves instead of waiting for a program. We don't know how to buy a house.
Of course we know we need insurance and all that stuff. Like I just said, we need insurance. We need a lot of stuff to get the house. We're not going to run and just buy it with $300, okay?
$300 gets you...
we're not stupid. We're gonna have the money.
$300 gets you a house on Monopoly.
Yeah.
$100 each house, so you got 3 houses on Connecticut Avenue. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. He's not even with me, of course, because they're getting him help. We already talked to whoever called us, and we told he said, do you know, he said something about getting him on his medication. We literally said that he won't go in there because they told him he has to go in there. They're going to try to figure out how to get him in there to get him on his medication. That's why he is not with us, because we don't have room for him. We are living out of a car. We have a lot going on right now. We can't have him with us and not on his medication. It's gonna be a problem. You guys act like it's easy. The VA doesn't do shit for veterans. They've already been sued multiple times. They're not for veterans. But again, that's where he chooses to go. We cannot tell him where he needs to go. There's so much that goes into this. Like, it's not easy having to deal with someone with mental illness, because it's hard to get him to go in there and get his medication. We've already told him that, so they're figuring out a plan to get him in there to get his medication. That's where we're at right now. Yeah. Make all the threats you want. Blocks. You know what's funny is that it's literally a Barb making threats while having a Nicki Minaj profile picture. That's crazy. But yeah, you want to prove Barb's are not crazy, but you have Nicki Minaj's profile picture making threats. That's wild. There is nothing funny about this situation, but people think it's funny. They think it's funny to dox people too, which is not funny. That's crazy. What's so funny? I'm not laughing. Like, Jesus Christ. What's funny? I don't understand why people think someone's living situation is funny. Just because Ash Trevino has money doesn't mean she has her life together. You know what's crazy? Do you know how much money that lady is making? If you guys are estimating how much money she's making, you're not even close. You're not even close. You're not even close. Okay, so let's say she has 2,000 followers on her main account. For every subscription that is subscribed, even if she's not live, she still gets paid for subscribers if they don't delete their account, right? If they don't get rid of their, they don't end their subscription, she's still actively getting paid for that. So let's say she has 2,000 subscribers on her main. Ashley Trevino has 2,000 subscribers on her backup right now as we speak. With that, every one subscriber that she gets, so when one person subscribes, it's 15% growth bonus. It's more than that now. She's already at 100% growth bonus, meaning that for every subscriber, she gets 100% of whatever, however many people subscribe. So each person gives her a growth bonus, right? This lady right now, as we speak, Ash Trevino, is making probably over $200,000 just in subscriptions alone. With every subscription on top of a growth bonus, it is a lot. Trust me, because right now, with even just 200 subscribers, I'm doing fairly well. I know what I'm talking about. This lady is making $200,000. You mean to tell me this lady's making thousands of dollars but can't even cook and has her life together? Because someone in the comment section under my video was like, at least she has her life together. What life? Her kid should not be sleeping on an air mattress if she had her life together. She makes too much dang money for her kids to be in that situation. This lady could up and move to another place if she wanted to. She's having people make believe she can't get up and move. You got enough money you make from subscribers. You're getting paid on the 15th. You could up and move your whole unit to a whole other place if you wanted to. And it takes time. I understand, because you have to fill out applications. You have to get approved and all of that. If she wanted to, she could easily rent a house again. This lady chooses to be in a place that is not safe. You cannot tell me I didn't have the means or the funds to up and move. I had to still get harassed where I was staying and try to hang on to that, which I couldn't. You have all of that money but people say she has her life together. How does someone who puts her kids in danger every day have her life together? If her kids had stayed with her over the weekend at that Airbnb and that person was trying to come in, she's lucky she sent them to their grandparents. They would have been in danger, those kids. And funny thing about it is, I should block the account because it came up on my For You page. You guys are playing both sides. You are just a part of what your mother is doing. You're just a part of it. Because what comes on my For You page? A video of one of her daughters saying that God, the devil works hard. Or, you know that like, it's a trend people say where like the devil couldn't reach me, so he took my dad away or whatever, or they try to say the devil couldn't reach me, so he blah blah blah. Well, one of her daughters said the devil couldn't reach me, but he took my dad away and gave me an alcoholic mother. I'm like, first of all, you tell CPS a whole other different story when they show up. You tell them how much your mother loves you and how she's not doing anything to hurt you. But then you're making contradicting posts on TikTok. And here's the thing, which somebody did say on a live stream about Ash Trevino. Do not follow her daughters just to make them the most followed. Right? They don't do anything on their page to get. Why are you getting them all those followers for when they don't really do anything with their page? They don't do anything. You just want them to have the most followers just cause. There are a lot of, and I'm not saying they're not talented. In the future, when they have plans of what they want to do with their account, you know, if they do makeup or stuff like that, that's fine. But for right now, just to have them the most followed because you want them more followed than their mother doesn't make no sense. You could put that time and energy into people that have talent and that are actually working on their platform. Small businesses, you can push them. You can do a lot of that. These girls are playing both sides. And when the mother starts realizing she can use her daughter's platforms to make money, she's going to make more money on top of that. And they cannot technically get paid because they're underage. The mother gets paid. Like, you guys don't realize the stuff that you do sometimes, right? And it's crazy. Saying someone has their life together just because they have a place doesn't mean shit. I'm making a load of money this month, but I don't even have a house. But that means I have my life together, right? And mind you, I'm not even going to talk about what's coming up for me. When you see what I have in store, then what are you going to say? Nothing. You ain't even going to apologize. There's people that just because they're going through a situation doesn't mean they have their life together. Or don't have their life together. There's a lady that I saw that was facing an eviction with her kids that literally, if she gets evicted, she doesn't have a job. Does that mean she doesn't have her life together? And she has a work from home job. She's supposed to start soon, but she hasn't gotten her first paycheck yet. She gets evicted, she loses that job. It doesn't mean people don't have their life together. I'm tired of people assuming people don't have their life together. That's not the issue. When you're calling and harassing people's places, when you're constantly doxing, harassing, stalking, attacking, doing all of that, that literally is not helping someone get their life together. Especially if they said, hey, I'm working to better myself. No, you don't care. Let's be for real. If I'm trying to get my life together and you're still here harassing me and doxing me. But yeah, you want me to get my life together, but you don't. Do you want me to get my life together or don't you want me to get my life together?
And you're doing that and all they don't like it. That's stupid.
And then they're mad because I can't tell them my whole business of what I'm doing. So it makes them mad. It's my business. If I'm working on getting a house or whatever I'm working on getting, why is it any of your business what I'm doing for my priorities when I'm not going to tell you because I get harassed? Isn't that not what you want? You say that I put all my business out there, and then you say I don't. It doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm about to burp. And my nose is runny. Like, come on now. You guys act like children. You act childish. You put one person over the other, and it makes no sense. How do you say someone who doesn't even take care of their kids and is always dumping their kids at their grandparents any better than somebody who is just living out of a car because the cost of living is too high? And you know it's too high, but you don't want to acknowledge that. Let's be for real. People have jobs and are still homeless. Make that make sense. You're literally talking about how people don't have their lives together, say, well, at least she has her life together, trying to insinuate I don't. But what about the people who work a 9-to-5 job living out of their car? Does that mean they don't have their life together? Let's be for real. You see this all the time on the For You page. The amount of people I have seen that I don't see anymore that used to live out of their car, going to a 9-to-5 job. Right? I'm not gonna go into their life and be like, you don't have your life together, because how are you working a 9-to-5 job and is still homeless? I know what it's like. That doesn't mean you don't have your life together. Stop comparing me to Ash Trevino. She's a horrible person. She's using her situations to make money, and you're still giving it to her. That's not including the money she makes from gifting. And I can guarantee you it's a heck of a lot of gifting. It's a heck of a lot of money on top of her subscriptions. Like 300,000 easy. 300,000 is probably estimated what she makes. Some of us who are content creators who go live and have subscriptions know. So you cannot go online and say I'm lying. Because we know about subscriptions. You get a growth bonus per every subscription. The more subscribers I get, the larger the growth bonus is. I know what I'm talking about. TikTok is a lot better. TikTok is a lot better than Twitch, because Twitch takes a large chunk, where I wouldn't be making this amount of money if I was on Twitch. There's that. And why would I get off the internet if I made more than someone's paycheck in a month? I made double someone's paycheck this month, and I'm getting paid on the 15th. So why would I get off the internet? I have people that are supporters of mine that said that they're proud of me. And when I work towards my goals and I get that house, eventually when I get the house, it's gonna piss people off. You don't realize, you just say, well, you ain't gonna have this, and you don't realize how expensive it is for this. Don't you think I know, because I've lived in 2 houses? It's like the one person that said, you've never lived in a house. Haha, you've never had a house in your life. And I said, we had 2. One we was renting to own, and one that we were renting. Oh, well, you don't have one now. And it's just like, okay, like when someone said, you never had your first car. I had 2 already. Well, you don't have one now. It's not yours. It's just like, okay, like, Jesus Christ. It's just so funny how people are. Like, instead of being haters in 2025, can you find a hobby, get a job, do something? Because you spending time chronically focusing on someone else is not going to get you to where you need to go with your goals. You better buy a house now while you can, before you can't buy a house and it's too late. Then it'll be too expensive for you to buy a house. Home owning is something that you should be doing. The amount of rent you pay each month adds up to, and all that money you paid, you could have bought a house. Imagine if you're paying $1,500. How much do $1,500 times 12, because that's how much months are in a year, times whatever, you know? $1,500 for 12 months. How much is that? That money could go towards you buying a house, but you would rather continue to keep renting. Why would you want to rent to someone when you could own a house? Why would you want to go through all the issues, right? I don't want to have to go with neighbors I don't know, or worrying if someone's not going to burn my apartment down because they left their stove on, and they almost burnt everyone's apartment down, speaking from experience. Like, I don't want to have to deal with neighbors stalking me because I didn't say hi to them. Let's be for real. I want to have my own house. And why is it so bad that I have a goal? Why? Why do people just tear someone down for having a goal that is plausible? People try to tear me down for having a goal that is not unreachable if I turn my platforms around. Why are you still here in 2025 bringing up old stuff from 6 years ago and still being haters and saying one person over the other? I am not going to compare myself to Ashley Trevino because my platform is totally different. She built her platform off of negativity. I built my platform off of positivity before anyone ever said anything about me or made any videos. People followed me for the right reason in the first place, and I need to get back to that. I need to get to that place where I am successful, where I have a stable income, where I'm doing well, where I have my own house and I don't have to depend on my family, where I can just enjoy life, do unboxings, travel, do fashion, like find my own style, just enjoy life. I am tired. I am done. I do not want to be homeless anymore. I have to put my foot forward and work towards it. Mind you, when I get paid, I'm going to be looking for a camera for my YouTube channel. I need to start investing in myself. If I'm not investing in myself, then what am I doing? I need to start putting the money into myself to be successful. How do I expect to get anywhere if I can't? It's my time to do what I need to do. So many times people love to bring others down because they're in the situation themselves. Why can't you all just be accepting of someone and be like, hey, you know what? We need to better ourselves instead of bringing someone else down. You drag people down all the time with your negativity and then say you're the one that's negative because, why? I said I wanted a house? What about me saying I want a house is negative? What about me saying that I'm working towards my goals is negative? How am I being negative about talking about positive stuff? But I bring up Ashley Trevino and all of a sudden that's negative. But you guys compare me every single day to a deadbeat mother who can't even cook for her children. And the only reason why she cooked pork chops was to make people believe that she's a good mother. She wasn't cooking for her kids. She was cooking for the internet. Because they made videos saying that she doesn't cook for her kids, so she had to prove to the internet she cooks for her kids. It wasn't because she, it's crazy.
And look, how can people say you're not making the right choices when buying a house is right now is more important than renting, and they want you
Why would I go rent only for rent to go up?
Yeah.
And then we won't be able to rent. Eventually in the future, people are not going to be able to rent. There's going to be mass homelessness. And if you don't think so, well, then you better look up.
My daughter right now is making all the right choices.
These people really don't understand how bad it's going to get for their finances in the future. You think a 1-bedroom right now is expensive. Wait until the near future when a 1-bedroom is like $10,000 and you can't afford it. And that's no joke. That's the way the government is headed. If you think the government cares about you and your money, no, they care about them and their pockets. There are billionaires sitting in the government right now that are not worrying about what's happening in America except other countries. People are not making a living wage, but yet they want to send money to other countries. They've already have plans put forth to help other countries. Let's be for real. They're already going to send billions of dollars to another country when Trump gets into office. Do you really truly think they're sitting down and caring? There are veterans standing on the side of the streets saying, help me, with signs, because the VA don't really help veterans. My dad literally is still sitting on $30,000 of, I don't know, he has money from the VA, something like that. He was going to use it to get me back into college, but he didn't go through with it. And my dad has a very bad part of bipolar because he's bipolar schizophrenic. Again, it's hard to keep him on his medication when he thinks he's being poisoned. It's hard to deal with that, trying to make my life better on top of people harassing me, calling the cops, laughing, and then putting my family's business out there and then saying I put it out there. And then when I don't give you a play-by-play of what I'm doing to get out of my situation, you get mad. If I say, oh, I'm gonna move into a house on the South Valley at 123 Corner Street, we already signed the papers, we're gonna get the keys like in 2 weeks. You guys would literally, like, you're waiting for me to give you information so you can ruin it, and I'm not gonna allow you to ruin anything for me anymore. I'm taking back my life. The internet you can't push me off the internet either. I can do what I want. I'm an adult and I choose to do what I want. I'm taking back my life. No one is taking my life away from me. I'm going to live how I want to live, not how you want me to live. I don't have to work a 9-to-5 job. You do that. And if it's good enough for you, I'm happy for you. But don't tell anyone else how to live their life. It's like Bobby Brown said, it's my prerogative. Everybody's talking. I'm just kidding. I had to. But anyways, you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking my life back. You're not going to turn me into a Daniel Larson. You are definitely not going to turn me into a world of t-shirts. You're definitely not going to turn me into anybody. I'm going to turn myself into someone that can turn my life around and be positive. If drug addicts can come out of their addiction, buy a house, and literally be successful, so can I. There's room for second chances. Whether you give me a second chance or not is on you, and you need to figure out what you need to do to fix that healing. Because if you're stuck on not giving someone a second chance, how do you ever think you're going to make it to the upper room? Because you're not going to make it anywhere. If this so-called heaven is real and God is real, God is not going to let you up there holding grudges. Give people second chances. Let them prove themselves. I don't have to sit here and be on a merry-go-round going around and around having to address the same situations from 6 years ago. It's not going to get me to my goals or where I need to be in life. Happy. Not stuck at a 9-to-5 job, miserable, worried, looking out of the corner of my eyes, looking around like if I'm wondering if I'm going to have my job or not because I lose my job because of the internet. Then turn around and say, well, we didn't do that. We didn't cause you to lose your job. That was your fault. Again, I am happy with my situation that is soon to come. I'm happy. And if that's not good enough for people, then that's not good enough for people. I need to be happy in 2025. Not miserable, not fighting with people, not arguing with people, but happy. And if it means talking about other people's situation too, I can do so. It's my platform. I can talk about whoever I want. So what if I'm homeless and talking about other people? Am I going to tell you what I'm doing now? No. Let me be happy. That's all I want. I want to be successful. When I see someone that says, you know, I'm about to be evicted, and I see they're honest, and they say, I'm about to lose my place and I don't know what I'm going to do. I have kids. Bam, let me help you. I got you. How much is your rent? Let me send that money over to the landlord. I know what it's like. And it hurts. Cause you can't be this Superman that, like I said in my Insta story, like, you know, you see somebody that's hurting and you want to be Superman. You want to be like, I see so many people that say I can't afford cancer treatments. Here, let me help you. You know, that's the type of person I want to be, because I've always wanted to do that. Even when I was younger, I lived in a homeless shelter when I was in elementary school. I know exactly what it's like. And until you lived in my shoes or anybody else's shoes for being homeless, you have no right to be cracking these homeless jokes like it's funny, like homeless people don't have their lives together. Homeless people, it's difficult. I see a lot of homeless people that are working to get jobs, to get out of their situation. But to you, it's just another person that doesn't have their life together. To me, as someone who has lived their life to the fullest, even if they're homeless, they're happy. Why is it homeless people are happier than people that have homes? Let's be for real.
Are they trying to say we're not happy? Because I'm very happy right now. I wish people would stop saying we're not happy.
Why should I have to be miserable in my situation when I literally have things lined up? And if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have that. And I'm not going to sit here and say I did it all myself. Because of you, I have these opportunities. Because of you, I don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job.
Because of me, I'm in this car, not my daughter, okay? So nobody has to say my daughter has me in the car. I'm in here because I stick by my kids, and we are going to get a place.
I told her that she has a choice to go to the shelter that is not safe for women.
Tell them what happened when we went there. I couldn't sleep. Somebody got attacked by a dog. Somebody had just went into a seizure, and then we find out somebody died there, and that's what you guys want. And you're saying that my daughter's making more better choices?
And the police even said, it's not safe for women when we got raided. They said you don't want to go there, so they tried to find another shelter. The issue that happened was I left my bank card because I thought we were going back into the room. They said, no, we cannot let you in there until he decides to come out. So then they said, is there any way you can pay for a room? I said, my credit card's in my room. I don't have the money for a room. It's in there. Like, you know, they wouldn't let me go back in. So they said, well, we'll try to call a place. I believe this was around Thanksgiving. So a lot of places were probably booked up for the holidays. They called a place, they called places. One place, which I put in my Insta story, said, yeah, we have a room for them, but they gotta pay it. And because the police said, there's a situation going on with this family, can you give them a room or something? First of all, if the police is telling you this family's in a situation, why are you being greedy? That's greed. Greed is not gonna get you anywhere to say, well, they don't have to give you a room. You have to pay for it. I couldn't go into my apartment to get my card because they said we cannot let you back in there. So how am I supposed to pay for something when I didn't grab everything that I needed because they told us we were going to go back in? It wasn't even our fault. It wasn't even our fault for what happened. What happened is that the lady said, are you guys okay? We said, yeah, we're fine. My brother was in a hurry because he was getting ready for work. He was kind of running a little late. So then the lady said, well, we need you to come out to see if you're okay. I said, we can't do that. I said, we're okay. And she said, well, we need you to come out to see if you're okay. And I said, well, she goes, well, I said, my brother's getting ready for work. He has to go to work. And she said, well, could you leave with him? And I said, sure, you know, whatever. I wasn't arguing with her, but my dad does not like the police when he's sick. So if we would have tried to leave, he would have said, where are you going? And then, you know, it's not that he would hurt us. I understand the situation. I understand the situation to the fullest, right? So then we go out, and then we're waiting, and they had to block off the roads. Mind you, people who had to get to work, the neighbors were mad because the roads were blocked off. Because of this situation, we told them, we can't have this raid, we can't have loud noises, we can't have anything because we'll be evicted. So then they said, you have anywhere to go? And we said, no, we don't have no family members. We have family members, but they can't just take us in, you know? So anyways, they tried to find a place. They named this one shelter. We said, because of reasons, which I'm not going to tell you because it's none of your business, I said, we're not allowed there. And they were like, okay, well, what about a room? And I said, well, I don't have my money. I said, it's upstairs and I can't go back in and get it, you know, because obviously, and I said, because, you know, obviously they wouldn't let us back in. So then they said, we'll try to find you guys a room. If we can find you guys a free room, you know, we'll see. So they called around and they found a room, but the guy said we had to pay. And they said, is there any way you can have money transferred? Is there any way that, you know, you can get money to pay for this room? And I said, I don't have the money. We don't have anybody. I said, the only money we have, it's in my room. So then they said, well, we'll try to find a shelter. They found this shelter. This lady, she has a church that she runs, and she allows people to take their dogs there, right? At the time, Hershey was locked in the apartment. Hershey got tear gassed because we couldn't go back into the apartment, and we didn't think, you know, that we thought we were going to go back in, because usually they just go in and they get him. We didn't think it was going to be this whole raid situation. They waited till we left to raid our apartment, damage everything, which is partially why they want to lie and say we got evicted, because my brother already told them about the raid. And they said it was fine. As long as we clean the apartment, they'll come in and fix it. They said, whatever damages, we'll come fix it. Our door was broken open until my friend had to do a makeshift so we could put a board across it. Because, you know, my father came back with a board across the door. And it was stuck like that until they took my father back in to the police, which is where the situation, how we got separated. Mind you, that door was broken for that long. My father came back, and the room, the sliding door was fixed. But, you know, it's just crazy because it's like, you know, we told them it's clear, you guys could come fix it. Nothing. Our sliding door was boarded up. Their back window was boarded up. We had a board across the door. Or no, I don't think my father came when, maybe, yeah, I think maybe he did come when the board was across the door. My brother's friend came because what happened was my brother said, I'm at work. When I get off, my friend will go down there and we'll like nail it so we can put a board across, because someone tried to come in. Someone tried to come in. Someone called the pizza man and he hit the door so hard that it flew open, and my mom got terrified because she was sleeping up front. So she was sleeping on the couch up front because she chose to. And the pizza man started banging on the door because I guess someone told him to bang on the door, and the door flew open. Then a second time, someone heavyset with black hair tried to come in, and my mom said, what do you want? And they ran down the stairs and ran away. So then my brother and his friend were trying to figure out what we can do to secure the door, because all we had was boxes and stuff. We put heavy stuff behind the door to try to block the door from being open. That's not secure. So then my brother's friend said, you know what? My brother's friend said, I'll come and I'll nail something so you can put a board across your door. You can remove and take the board off and So he said, when I get off work, my friend's coming. His friend said, no. You guys, he said, no. You guys need this done now for safety, so I'm gonna come and do it. Oh shit. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
That guy was running and he went sliding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went running really fast.
Down the ditch?
Yeah, and then he fell on his arm, he slid, and then he kept running. That's why when he was running in that, I thought it was gunshots. Because he was running.
I heard that noise. Maybe that was him sliding.
No,
Oh.
I saw him running away from something. I said, why is he running that fast? Then I said, oh, he's probably trying to get up there. No, he slipped and fell on his arm. And then that's when it sounded like gunshots. So maybe he was running away from something.
Oh, or maybe he was just running to go get home quick.
No, because why did he slip and fall?
They're running again in the ditch. I see somebody.
Yeah.
No, they're just messing around, see?
No, they're not. That's an adult. They're running from something.
Oh, it looks like.
They're running. Somebody's shooting. Mom, adults are not running like that because they're playing. Somebody's shooting at somebody.
Sometimes they're running up and down the ditch in the daytime.
No.
That's why
somebody is shooting at somebody. There was a whole group of them.
Oh, was there?
Yes, they came from that way.
Oh, okay.
Mom, it's not okay.
No, I know that, but I'm saying okay because
Jesus,
you explained it to me.
I'm scared.
We'll be all right.
Not if a bullet flies through the window, we won't be all right.
I mean, we have phone service, so if we need to call 911.
That's crazy. We're not even 2025 and yet there's already gun violence. Jesus
There's
Christ.
some people going by it that way.
Yeah, but they're way over there.
That's probably them, though. They probably went back that way.
No, there was a lady with some man that went that way, and then that guy was running away and he slipped. I could understand if he's in a hurry to get somewheres, but not like that.
Oh, okay.
To make yourself slide, and he was running up there by the dog park. And there's a guy over there with his tent. Man, let me tell you something. Albuquerque's crazy. I'm just gonna say that. See, look, there goes that guy running. He ran back that way and he's going that way.
Yeah. He's probably trying to hide himself.
Yeah. I have to be vigilant because of the guy I follow on TikTok.
He probably doesn't know which way to go because he don't know where the gunshots are coming from.
It came from that way, from the park.
Okay, I do watch her.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyways, because there's this guy I follow. His name is Terrence Williams. He does sewing. And he makes these bonnets. He makes these bonnets. And so he had an encounter with a man that was acting weird. And what ended up happening was he got pew-pewed. And the guy tried to unalive him. So it was a scary situation, and I always try to be vigilant because it's not safe out here sometimes. You know, sometimes you gotta be careful. You never know. You know? I have to go see if my charger's at the post office because I went and they told me to come back, and today I had some stuff I had to do, so tomorrow I'm gonna go check and see. Thank you for the gift points. But back on this, let me get my charger out because I'm gonna have to charge my phone. It's dying. And I might have to get off soon.
I'm getting down now.
No, it's right here.
Oh, okay, good.
Mom, why? I said I have my stuff near me so I can grab it. I never put it where I can't grab it. I was
gonna get down that way.
No. Plus, I want to get off and play my. Hold on, guys. So going on? Because why were those people running? They're not running for no reason.
We draw attention to ourselves.
I'm over here. I'm just kidding. You. Okay. Okay. Let me plug you guys up. Plug it in. Plug it in. Chia. It's great for the whole fun. It's great and fun for the whole family. Get yourself a Richard Simmons chia pet only at Walgreens and Walmart.
All you need is to get a jar and put something in there that grows mold, and there you have a chia pet.
No, you buy chia seeds, and then you can make anything into a chia pet.
Yeah. The mold don't make a chia pet.
Chia seeds is what the chia pets are.
I'm just kidding.
Chia. Am I allergic to anything? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I get allergies, probably because of the pollen or whatever it is, the cotton trees. Because by my grandma's house, she has cotton trees, but every time I go over there, I get allergies. So I don't know what the allergies are, but to my knowledge, I don't really have any severe allergies. Yeah, sure, hide. Leave me in the open. I'm just kidding. What did I eat today? Chicken wings. Chicken wings. I'm probably gonna eat some more when I get off or eat my breadsticks. Because I'm kind of a little hungry. Huh, that's an unlikely combo. Breadsticks and chicken wings. There's a lot of people in this area. It's kind of active, so. How'd you get it? Paid for it? Chia. Thank you for the 2025. Hi, Casey. I'm tired. My leg hurts. I need to get under the blanket. And I need to, well, not under the blanket, but kind of cover up. And I need to play my Switch. I was playing Mario Party. I was like, yeah, I was at the laundromat playing my game. So that's fun. Do a Chipotle reveal? I haven't even tried Chipotle. And we had Chipotle. Is that how you say Chipotle? Chipotle? And I have never tried Chipotle. And I remember people saying that it has E. coli. I remember one time there was an E. coli outbreak at Chipotle, and I said, nope, not gonna eat there. Do a mukbang? When I'm in a good place to do so, I will order from restaurants I've never tried. No, veggies don't bother me. I just never ate there because of the E. coli outbreak. But, you know, I really want to try places. We have a Texas Roadhouse too. And I don't know, I know I've eaten at Black Angus. Black Angus is expensive. My dad went there one time for a business meeting. Black Angus is expensive, but their steak is good. My favorite, okay, so I used to have, my favorite food is either pizza or pasta, excuse me. My favorite restaurant used to be The Cube. If you don't know what The Cube is, go look up The Cube. So The Cube was a barbecue restaurant. It's a barbecue restaurant that was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which is Guy Fieri's show, which I like Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri has Flavor Town, a restaurant here, which is trash. Let me tell you something about Guy Fieri, right? So I tried to order from his restaurant because I was like, ooh, let me try his restaurant and do a review. The burgers were $11. You don't even get sides, mind you. You have to order the sides separately. And he only had like four items on the menu. That looks like the police. He only had 4 items on the menu and then a couple of desserts. He didn't even have a lot on his menu. I'm like, first of all, you're a restaurant, but you don't have a whole menu. It wasn't even a lot on his menu. I'm like, and you're Guy Fieri? Like, bro, I was like, when I tell you I was hella embarrassed, well, not embarrassed, I was like, bro, you are a celebrity that is literally like a chef or, you know, knows about food, and your restaurant only has 4 items on the menu? No, but $11, it was like, how much was it? Not 11, like $11. I don't even remember how much it was. It was expensive. It was an expensive burger, mind you, and you don't even get, like, I could understand paying $15 and you get fries with your burger, but yeah, and then it was only like 4 burgers on the like DoorDash when you order, and then he had special fries, and then he had like 3 desserts. It was only like 6 or 7 items on the menu, not even including drinks. Not even 6 or 7. It was like 6 items and then the drinks. Like, there wasn't even a lot. Like, there wasn't even a lot on the menu. And then it was trash. Like, I wouldn't have even ordered from his place. Like, if you're a celebrity, right, like Guy Fieri, why is your restaurant like that? Like, it doesn't make sense. He's the Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri, however you say his name, Fieri. Anyways, so then I was like, nah, that's okay. I ordered from somewhere else, but it's crazy. But anyways, the Cube used to be, it used to be Route 66, but then they started doing construction, and because of the construction, a lot of businesses in that area shut down. They were doing construction because of the bus. They're doing this art bus thing, which is stupid. It's a special bus. They were getting rid of these rapid rides. They're accordion buses that go faster than a normal bus to get you where you need to go faster. Or you can take the buses that are in between stops, like Route 66. But because of this construction, a lot of businesses closed down because people couldn't get to these businesses because the construction was in the way. One of those businesses was The Cube. It was a barbecue place, and man, their barbecue was good. Like The Cube, and we ate there before it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Like, my dad used to take us there a lot. Then they ended up shutting down. Next door used to be a mortuary, because that's where one of my family members had a funeral. My grandma's sister's husband, because he, anyways, I'm not gonna say how he died, but so then they used to they had specialty hot dogs. I didn't know that until I saw, well, I did know that actually, but on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, they had like these special, like, it was like a chili dog, but they served mostly barbecue sandwiches, barbecue chicken. That's what it was. It was barbecue. So my dad used to eat there because my dad loves barbecue. He's really huge barbecue person. So we went there. Their sandwiches were really good. But what ended up happening is that it shut down. So that's what happened. The construction caused a lot of businesses to shut down, and I was sad because that was one of my favorite places to go, and I couldn't go because they shut down. It's okay. You can always find another place. Get dragged for what, Mr. Petty? Get dragged for what? You're talking to a fake Pleasant account. Get dragged for what? I ate barbecue chicken. I ate barbecue chicken wings. Why are you literally having a conversation with a fake Pleasant account?
I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No.
I felt a tap on the head.
I'm gonna go get I'm gonna get my stuff so I can eat it. And I think they're looking around because there's somebody with a flashlight. But there's usually people that walk with those headlights. But there was somebody that they kept going like that, but they wasn't coming, but they were flashing at the tent, so I don't know. Anyways, do you have favorite subscribers? No. I don't do favorites. Everyone is equal. There's somebody flashing their lights this way. Mom.
What?
There's somebody going around flashing a light. They flashed it over this way.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
They probably heard the gunshots.
And it sounds like police, the sirens, because I heard them. There was a guy today, man. I don't know. He was causing problems at the library because he was at the library and I guess they were trying to wake him up for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, they had kept trying to wake him up and he wouldn't wake up. So they called the ambulance to make sure he was okay, and I guess he was out of it because they were like, hey man, they said we tried to wake you up for about 5 minutes and then he just wouldn't get up. He would just nod back off. So they called the ambulance, and then the ambulance came and did their job, right? I didn't see them rude with him or nothing. He I guess didn't like what they did, stuck up the middle finger at them and walked off, right? And I was like, why are you doing that to the responders that are nice to you and helping you? They didn't have to make sure you were okay, but they did. So then what happened is that he came back again and tried to go into the library, and the guy was like, hey man, I already told you you have to leave for the day until you're sober because you can't be in here like that. And he was refusing to leave, and he said, you know what? You lost your library privileges. Get out of here. He said, don't come back. Now you're not welcome back. I was like, why do these people do that? There was one guy that was going around asking to borrow a phone to call his parole officer. Then he came to our table, and I was like, you know what? Sure, whatever. I'll be nice enough and lend my phone. Then he got into it with the security, because the security guard's like, you can't be bothering the people in the library asking them for a phone. And he's like, was I bothering you? And I said, I'm not going to answer, because I'm not trying to make the situation worse than what it is. Like, I know you want me to answer, but if he has a problem, it's not my rules, it's the library rules. And so then he got into it with the guy, and the guy said, well, you leave. Then he said, you leave. He goes, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. And then he had to leave. He's like, you're acting weird. He said, you're not sitting down, you're acting erratic, and you're asking the people in the library for a phone. He said, he got mad, and he said, I'm trying not to fucking go to jail, but this fat ass, he called the security guard a fat ass. He said, this fat ass is preventing me from doing this. I was like, what the heck? Man, and that's not the first time they called that security a fat ass. There was one guy that got mad, and he said, do something, you fat ass, or something like that. I was like, what? Man, he may be overweight, but don't provoke him. He's security for a reason. You know what? You said me of all people shouldn't be laughing. Why? Because I'm a fat ass? And there comes a car. We gotta be careful, because you of all people shouldn't be laughing. I'm just kidding. Like, let's not go there. I've been called fat all my life when I wasn't. That's why I ate myself. That's why I'm overweight, because of what people said to me. I wasn't born fat, mind you. There are people that are born fat, and there are people that become fat. From the movie, The Breakfast Club, when he said, there are people that are born fat, and there are people that become fat. Which one are you? I wasn't born fat, I became fat. So, because people bullied me, that's what happened. I wasn't always overweight. Why would I eat more? Because people bullied me? Why do you think anytime someone gets bullied, they turn to food because it's comforting? Food does not call you a fat ass. Food does not make you feel bad. It makes you feel good. That's why a lot of people on my 600-pound life turn to food, because it made them feel better. Even though it didn't make them healthier. That's just the sad reality. Let me get my stuff.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. No, that's Casper.
Sounded like gunshots to me.
It's a bag, Mom. How does a bag sound like gunshots? I want my breadsticks, and I want it now. What do I want? My breadsticks. When do I want it? Now. What do we want? Breadsticks. When do we want it? Now. Frick. I'm trying to put the top somewhere so I don't spill it. Ew. Block. I terrified myself. Almost threw my breadsticks on the floor. No. No, I wouldn't have. Mom,
What?
I'm greedy.
You're what?
I'm greedy.
Really?
They called me greedy.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm eating breadsticks.
I have garlic bread.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, did you put it up here or no?
No.
Okay. When I'm ready, I'll ask you for some.
Thank you for the lantern.
Plus, I have chicken wings too.
I have chicken wings left too. Greedy.
Okay, some cool stuff over here.
I'm just so greedy. I'm just so greedy.
Oh, why? Because you didn't share with them? How are you going to share with them?
I'll just be greedy. It's like that song. I'll come before you, but I'll be like, I'll be so greedy. Boy, man. Hold on. I'm just kidding. Like, hello? I ain't no greedy, but don't push me. I'm just kidding. Like the Tupac song where it said, I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Run with me, Hail Mary. Run with C's. When you're gonna ride or die. La da 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 da. Hey. No, I don't know how to eat quietly. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I was hungry. It's loud. The sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on pressing on. Excuse me. I grew up, got introduced to the game. And wondering if, and I'm there. Why am I trying to live if I was living to die? Why am I trying to see if there was nothing inside? Why am I trying to live if I was living to die? You know that remix, which is the infamous Living to Die remix, Tupac's Biggie. You know who made that remix? Do you guys know who did that remix? It's a very popular remix, which was released after Tupac and Biggie, and that like Living to Die came out, that was Eminem. I was like, Eminem did that? I didn't even know he made that infamous remix, but yeah, it was Eminem. It was Eminem. I was like, because I thought it was an actual song, but I guess it's like remixed or something with like, I don't know, I thought it was an actual song. The crowd goes mild, of course. Mr. Petty would say that. You don't want to acknowledge your roots. You're white, aren't you? You Slim Shady's color. You a Slim Shady shade. So what are you talking about, Mr. Petty? He's still kind of relevant because there's talks about, there was people going back and forth having a discourse about Eminem being the number one rapper, right? When it comes to like hip hop rap or whatever. But because he's a guest in the space, you know, we do have to acknowledge that he didn't invent rap, but he is a good rapper, but he's not number one status. I like Eminem, and I do have to agree he's not number one. Why am I talking about people's skin color? Because someone told me Mr. Petty is not black and Mr. Petty is pretending to be black. Now, mind you, if that's the case, he shouldn't have people posting black people getting strange fruited in his group chat. That's why I'm talking about that, because Mr. Petty loves to come on this app and talk about me, and literally I think he's made several comments about how I'm not black enough, but he shouldn't be the one to be talking when people say he's not black. So let's not, because Mr. Petty has made several remarks, including one where he referred to me as Mark Henry, and he tried to say that he didn't. So I'm not built like Mark Henry. Mark Henry is built like the Big Show. They're huge dudes. They're bigger than me, and he's actually probably taller than me. These are gigantic dudes. Stephanie, I don't understand why. I don't understand why people are being fat phobic. Haha, now I got you to be fat phobic. That's what you get, dummy. You know, I don't care if you're fat phobic or not. I'm not with that morality shit. Because I'll be fat phobic to you if you're fat phobic to me. I'll call you a stick, okay? I'll say you slipped through the cracks. Okay, you may not be fat, but you need to eat at least 10 Big Macs. I'll go there. Because some of you guys be talking about my weight when you don't even show your face. It would probably take up the whole screen. Some of you be talking about how fat I am, but won't talk about your mother's being 10 times as fat. And mind you, my mom is not fat, because people try to say that, but she's literally like 150 pounds. That's not overweight. Actually, that's average weight. So you can't say about my mom being fat. Your mom's so fat, she walked past the TV screen and I missed the whole episode of Making the Band. Let's be for real. You talk about fat people, but you don't talk about how fat your mother is. She's the one that's probably causing these earthquakes and natural disasters, but you won't talk about that. And then you say talk about yourself. I could go there. I'm not gonna be this moral police and not be fat and contain myself from being fat phobic, because I will. I don't give a fuck. You're fat phobic to me, I'll be fat phobic towards you. And I won't even be fat phobic. I will make fun of your body. Okay? I will go there. It's not hypocrite, because I don't care if people are fat phobic towards me. How is that hypocritical? I'm not being the moral police anymore. I'm not going to be a social justice warrior and tell people you can't do this and you can't do that anymore. To a certain extent, when it comes to racism, that's where I draw the line. But if you're going to make fun of my body, I'll make fun of yours, okay, Pinocchio? So let's not go there. You don't even have your profile picture to even give me an idea of what I'm looking at. You could be, for all I know, you could be this old fat man with his hand down his pants with chip crumbs on his body, literally liking bikini pics, talking about women's weight. How do I know who you are? You could have a receding hairline and be bald by the time you're 30. Why is your hairline running away from you? I don't know. For all I know, you could have something you don't like about yourself. You could have a crooked ass nose and I wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, the only thing more crookeder than you would probably be your nose. But hey, right? You want to talk about people's looks and weight and then you don't have a profile picture. So what can we go off of, right? Again, like I said, if people are going to be rude to me, I'm going to be rude to you. That's just how it works. Leave me alone, I will leave you alone. My nose is not crooked, mind you. How is that projecting? My nose is not crooked. Because if I had a messed up nose, I would have already went to the doctor, which I kind of slightly do because I was hit with a water hose, but my nose is not crooked. I don't have a deviated septum. I'm thankful I don't have to have surgery. I might have to, I don't know, because I have to sleep with 2 pillows sometimes because I have breathing problems. And that's probably stems from what happened when I was younger because I was hit with a water hose. And from then on, I have a sensitive nose. If I barely get tapped in the nose, I get a bloody nose. And even during the summer, I used to get real bad bloody noses. But, you know, my nose isn't fucked up. I don't gotta get surgery. And I'm not saying that it's bad for people who have to get surgery, because anytime someone gets surgery, everyone thinks they got a nose job. A lot of people get surgeries to breathe correctly, because if you have a deviated septum, it's hard for you to breathe properly. And why would someone want to endure not breathing through their nose? Because people are going to assume that they got nose job. It was like Charlie D'Amelio or Dixie D'Amelio got like surgery to fix their breathing problems, and everyone tried to say they got a nose job. Like, no, maybe they want to breathe properly. Haven't you ever thought of that? Like, seriously. Like, haven't you ever thought of that? Like, people want to breathe properly. It doesn't always have to do with nose jobs and things like that. I don't need one. You know? Eric Cartman. No. How does he talk? Those are my cheesy pears. No. That's how he talks. Screw you guys. I'm going home. That's how he talks. Well, so I think someone meant to say Eric Cartman and they typed it wrong. Batman. He's always like, Batman. No, those are my cheesy food. Yes, I do brush my teeth. You? You do realize I have bottles of water and toothbrush and toothpaste and toothbrushes. Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I can't brush my teeth. I still can brush my teeth. There's the police. They were parked there. And there's a helicopter going around. Helicopter, helicopter. I'm just kidding. Well, I do use it. Bed bugs? I don't have bed bugs. Excuse me. Helicopter, helicopter. Mom.
What?
Did you know that we don't buy bottles of water?
I don't know.
You just grabbed a bottle of water and drank it because you was coughing, but yet we don't have a bottle of water.
I'm stupid. We don't buy. We have a case in the back, but we don't buy.
We buy 2 cases of waters, don't we?
Yes.
when we are able to, or we only get one because that's all we can get for now.
We were buying 2 cases when we had the other car. That's what it was.
No, we bought 2 cases when we had a play. Oh yeah, when we did have the other car too, but we don't have room.
This car, we don't have that much room.
See, because I was sleeping in the back, but now I can't because there's all this stuff. But anyways, we don't have to clear back there. It's none of anyone's business. It's food, it's stuff, it's our snacks and stuff, and it's our clothes because we just did laundry.
Yep. We got a organized Sunday.
We don't have a rodent. It must be something bigger than a rodent, or it could be a ghost. Because I was talking to somebody and I explained to them and I told them there's something in the car. If you hear banging, all of a sudden it started banging. And I was like, it hears me. So I don't think it's a rat, because a rat wouldn't be banging that hard. And it's bam, and it moves the car too sometimes.
Yeah, like
a little bit.
Trying to get out.
It's if it was a rat or if it was a mouse, it wouldn't be banging that hard. So I don't know what it was, because even if it was a rat or a mouse, that cat wouldn't be like rear, whatever it was. It was attacking and then it went running. It didn't even get what it was because it ran away. But, you know, more South Park impressions. I'm not good. I used to have and what was funny was, in high school, I used to have a teacher that was named Mr. Mackey. And he always used to say "okay" too. He was always like "okay," but he didn't talk like Mr. Mackey. It was funny, but his name was Mr. Mackey, and he always used to say "okay" a lot. And I was like, it was funny in high school, you know, because Mr. Mackey's always like "okay, drugs are bad. Okay, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay, they're bad." No, I did. I had a teacher named Mr. Mackey who also dated one of my ex-teachers from middle school, because he showed us his girlfriend, and she was the teacher who used to play Evanescence a lot in her classroom. That's how I got into Evanescence and started liking Evanescence, was because of my teacher. But I had this teacher in middle school, and then I went to high school, and I had this teacher named Mr. Mackey who, in his class, I forget what I had his class for, but I remember specifically he was the one that we watched Schoolhouse Rock. That's the one that's that song that everyone knows that's like, I'm just a bill. Yeah, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. And it's a long, long journey to the capital city. Like, it's literally a whole song about how a bill is passed, basically. Schoolhouse Rock. We all know what that is. And so anyways, this teacher, his name was Mr. Mackey. And I always thought it was funny. And he always would make jokes because, you know, the counselor, the school counselor on South Park is named Mr. Mackey. So he would always make jokes about that because his name was Mr. Mackey too. So, yeah. They did remove the gift sound because people got annoyed. It's not good. There's a reason why I say it's not good, and there's a reason why I say it's good. For me, I didn't care, but for someone that could possibly have a heart attack, especially for people that do ASMR, that was not good on them, especially when they have to wear headphones. There was one ASMR content creator that she ripped her headphones off and blocked somebody because that sound screeched in her ear. And for me, it might trigger someone to have a heart attack. So I didn't mind it, but if someone has their phone up and they hear that screeching sound, they may panic and have a heart attack. And for that reason, I think that it's best they bring the sound back, but they bring the gift back, but without the sound, because it may trigger a lot of people to go into like having a heart attack or something like that, which people think that may not happen, but it is possible, you know. Plus, people couldn't talk with the sound. People can't really talk with the sound because it cuts them off. There was too many issues with the sound. So there was a lady that literally tickled her husband to death. He had a heart attack and passed away. Like she tickled him to death, because the video came on my For You page where some lady was talking about how this lady tickled her husband to death, and he had a heart attack. I was like, you can tickle someone to death? I thought that was, you know. Do you know what narcissistic is? It came on my For You page. I liked the video. I look like Quasimodo. Well, did you know comparing people to Quasimodo is ableism? Because Quasimodo had a disability. If you really watch Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo had a disability. That's why he was considered an outcast. Because of his disability was the reason why he got treated the way he got treated. They called him a monster. He was not a monster. He just had a disability. Mind you, comparing people to Quasimodo is ableist, which I didn't know, because at the time I did make a joke because people started calling me Quasimodo. So I put myself in a photo. I put myself next to a photo of Quasimodo, like green screen in the background, to literally make it look like, match Quasimodo, because people kept saying I look like him. I've made that joke before. But there was someone online who said that comparing people to Quasimodo is ableism, because when you really think about Quasimodo and the Hunchback of Notre Dame, he had a disability, which is why he got treated the way he got treated. Right? He was an outcast. That guy always kept him hidden because he said no one would like you, you're hideous. Right? And the only person who extended her grace enough to be like, hey, I can see beyond this, you know. I can make people see you for who you really are. This wonderful person was Esmeralda, right? And she was even being shunned for who she was because of the color of her skin. Again, that's why what's his name? The jester guy. I call him the jester because he dresses like a court jester. He was like, you know, the way he treated Esmeralda. And this white guy doing what white men do, colonize, was like after her, not because, you know, because he was fetishizing her because of the color of her skin. Again, if you really look deeply into these Disney movies, you'll realize a lot of things, which is why he was trying to white man and be like, when he sang that song like, hellfire, like fire, hellfire, this burning in my skin, this burning desire, be mine or you will burn. Anyways, that song. And then in the song, he's singing about Esmeralda and basically how he's infatuated with her and he has to have her. And then you have this jester guy, I forget his name, who wears a mask and treats her badly because she's trying to get people to see the outcast, which is Quasimodo, as this kind, nice, considerate guy. But they don't want her to get people to like Quasimodo. They want him to be locked away. He wants to give her up to the guy, which is, when you look at these Disney movies, they're not the greatest. That's like the P movie. I can't even say the name because that's not really her name. Her name is with a M. And if you really look into that story, it was a real story about a 14-year-old girl who was literally given to the white man. John Smith was a real guy. They did horrible things to her. She ended up going on ship. She passed because of the illnesses she contracted. or the diseases she contracted. There was so much stuff with her. Yeah, that one. You can't say that. And actually Disney made lighthearted movies, but a lot of these, some of them are real and it's hidden, and a lot of them have racist meanings, like in Peter Pan when they sing Why the Red Men Are Red or something. That is literally a racist song. When you look at some of the cartoons, like they had a certain symbol in one of the Donald Duck cartoons. They had black they were like black centaurs, you know, like half man, half horse or something. Like, you know, Nimbus, I think his name is Nimbus, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But except they were black, and you could tell it was a racism thing, shining other animals' hooves. And you know the meaning behind that, right? Like, Disney has had racist undertones for a long time. Like, and even their stories are not original because they're Brother Grimm stories. And if you know the Brothers Grimm stories, they're grim. There's nothing happy about Snow White. Actually, Sleeping Beauty was SA'd, if you really want to talk about it, because why is that man kissing her without consent? She was asleep. He didn't even ask for consent. He just kissed her. Same thing with Snow White. They wanted to make it like, oh, he's saving her because she had a poisonous apple lodged in her throat. So he kissed her and he saved her, guys. Like, no, that was assault. Like, he assaulted, trigger warning, a dead corpse. Snow White was dead. And he kissed her. There's no consent, right? And then Cinderella is grim, because Cinderella in the original story, which is Brothers Grimm, trigger warning, they removed certain types of limbs on their feet. They removed their feet, like their toes, so they could fit in the shoes. They chopped off their toes so they could fit in the glass slipper, because that's how badly they wanted to be with the prince. Like, this is crazy. If you look at this, like, oh, and another thing, like, the actual grim story of Peter Pan is they were in limbo because it was somebody who led these children to jump out of a window. When they're flying, they're not really flying. They passed away, and they're floating ghosts in the air. There is nothing exciting about there is nothing happy about Peter Pan taking them to Neverland. No, that's not. It was somebody who led them to jump out of a window, and they're in limbo. That's what that is. Okay? Like, Disney, thank you for the subscriptions. Disney wants to be out here and be like, we're making these stories for children, and when you grow up, you realize what the real stories are. So, it's not all, well, Disney is made up. So is the other stories. But the other stories are grim stories, which is why Disney made them a lot happier. Like Cinderella. Of course they made her, get all she wanted, after her stepmother treated her so horribly. There was so many remakes of Cinderella. There were so many different stories of Cinderella. It's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, Disney likes to capitalize off of things. Actually, if you didn't know, the song in The Lion King, I'm trying to think of what song was actually taken from a black tribe, and they never paid that tribe any money. They stole that song, actually. So, Bluey? Well, that's a kid's show, obviously. Well, I mean, technically not, because there's a lot of adults that like Bluey for some reason. I don't know what it is about Bluey. And actually, the actors for the brown dog and the blue dog are going to be at Comic-Con, like the voice actor for Bluey. No, I don't watch kids shows. I watched kids shows when I was younger. Yes, I did watch Dragon Tales. Because my brother, when he was younger, that's what he used to watch was Dragon Tales. Cyber Chase, Zoom, Zaboomafoo. You, me, and you, and Zaboomafoo. And then the other one that's like, Dragon Tales, it's almost time for Dragon Tales. Come along, take my hand, let's all go to Yeah, we did have satellite TV, actually. When we had our house, we used to have Comcast. Before that, we had DirecTV. So, yes, I did watch a lot of PBS Kids. Emmy and Max knew what to do. They climbed on the backs of their dragon friends. Now the adventures never end. My brother used to watch Rough Men. And then there was Word Up, It's Word Girl. You remember Word Girl? And then the other one, Come in between the lions, come in between the book, in between the lions, or something like that. Where it's like, come in between the lions, begin between the lions. And then, what was that other one? We used to watch Roly Poly Oly. His smallest around, and in the land of, he's the smallest kid around. And then there was Miss Spider's Adventures or something, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. There was another show my brother used to watch where the animals were literally words. Like, you know, it was the show with where the pig was, it spelled pig, but his name was Pig. The animals were made out of letters.
Yeah, they would spell out the alphabet.
There was that one. I can't remember. Word World. Yeah. That's what it was. Word World. The animals were made out of letters. And then, what other show? Sesame Street. Barney. Because Barney was when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Dragon Tales.
I said that.
Didn't you?
Cyber Chase.
Bear
in the Big Blue House. Out of the Box. Dora was probably after I was older than Dora and Diego. But yeah.
And the Big Red Dog.
Clifford, the Big Red Dog.
And the Ferocious Beast.
Yeah, I said that. Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. Mm-hmm. Olivia the Pig. Max and Ruby. My mom likes Max and Ruby. Max and Ruby. Ruby and Max. Because we had this book. You liked that book. The Max and Ruby book.
The what?
The Max and Ruby book.
Max
and Ruby.
Oh.
It was a book where his sister was trying to get him to eat the eggs. And he wouldn't eat the eggs.
Oh, yeah. That Max, yeah.
The bunny rabbits. Someone call me Biggie Smalls.
It's 'cause he kept wanting to eat the strawberry, and his sister's all, you can't eat that till you eat your eggs, Max. And he kept trying in all kinds of ways to cover the egg, and she's all, you can't hide it, you gotta eat it. And then she said, I'll show you. No, he said, it's no good. And she said, I'll show you. And she ate it. And he's all gone, and then he ate the strawberry. And I'm like,
his sister was... Somebody made a video saying his sister was a bully because I remember one episode he wanted to be a vampire and she wouldn't let him be a vampire. She wanted him to be something else.
That's like, that's another one. Angelica.
Oh, you mean the Rugrats?
Yeah, she was a bully.
Yeah.
I liked her.
Mina and Count. You guys remember that? It was a old cartoon that was like, the guy was named Count because he was Count Dracula, and it was this little girl named Mina, and he would try to like scare her, but he couldn't scare her because she wouldn't get scared. She thought he was funny. She would laugh at him. He would try to go in her room and like scare her, but he couldn't. And then there was that made me think of another show, but I can't even remember. But yeah, let's grow up. No, don't grow up. Adults can be kids at heart. Why are you telling people to grow up? That's boring. You grow up. Okay? I'm not a Disney adult, and why are we shaming Disney adults? Because some of them have fun, right? At least they can afford to go to Disney. Can you? Probably not. So some Disney adults might be weird, but how is it weird for someone to literally like something? There are cartoons made for adults too, so why are we saying that everything's limited to age? Age has no limitations.
What
you
are
could
they
be old
talking
and like
about?
things.
So if you become a parent and you enjoy shows with your kids, you enjoy them. So you're not supposed to like a show after a certain age because
You're too old.
why? You're never too old. I like a lot of cartoons still.
You can't like Dora, Grandpa.
And to prove to you,
Or Grandma.
how many people go to Comic-Con that are underage? There's adults there too. Okay, and they're dressed like
And I'm pretty sure
characters.
adults are gonna go get signatures from the Bluey voice actors. Let's not like I'm not, because I don't watch Bluey. I'm not a Bluey person, but I've seen adults that literally love Bluey. I'm not gonna say anything. Do you remember the time? That's sketchy. Why is it sketchy? Because it's a kids show. That, you know what's literally sketchy is parents dressing their kids up as a cartoon character of a corn cartoon, which is Has Been Hotel. I think that was the one. There was a character from Has Been Hotel where the mother thought that the cartoon was innocent. But then what happened was it wasn't an innocent cartoon because someone explained to her what she dressed her child up as, and she was like, oh my God, because she didn't know like what the actual cartoon was about. There are people that find enjoyment in things, so who are we to bash people for that? You know, Bluey is not limited to only children. I don't watch Bluey. You know, I'm not a Bluey person, but I do have a friend that used to be into Paw Patrol. Like, there's nothing wrong with grown adults as long as they're not being weird with children in a sense of like messaging children or using these cartoons to have interactions with children, you know, then that's weird. But let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. If people like Dora when they were growing up and Dora's still around, why are we going to shame people for that? They watched Dora when they were little, right? It was like when Tickle Me Elmo came out. And, you know, when I was little, I used to watch Sesame Street. What if I want to watch Sesame Street now? I love Jim Henson. Like, hello? Okay, adult toddler is crazy because if there's an adult acting like a toddler, that's crazy. Okay, now that's weird. That is weird. I never said I watched cartoons like that. I watch anime or manga, but I don't watch that. Because those are cartoons I grew up with, dummy. I was a kid when I watched those cartoons. Can we not? Like, Zaboomafoo is not around anyways. Zoom is not around either. Zoom used to be about science experiments. And as a matter of fact, now that they said science experiments, I thought of Sid the Science Kid. And I also thought of Caillou. I'm looking for my friends. I'm looking for you. Hey, there's Gerald. Look, check out my move. Oh my lord. I can't. Caillou is the worst. Caillou is a kid with cancer, supposedly. That's like the backstory someone said is like Caillou is a kid with cancer. That's why he was a bald kid. Because actually, in real life, if you're a kid, you're not supposed to bulge your kids because it burns their scalp because of the sun. But they said the reason why he was bald is because he had cancer. Well, it wasn't even that. It was literally like episodes of Caillou that they tied together to say that he had cancer. And I do believe that the creator of Caillou did come out and say, yeah, Caillou was a boy with cancer. So it was not speculated because it was like episodes and things that people literally pieced together. That they literally, like, in episodes, there was like that kind of confirmed Caillou had cancer. So, source, like YouTube probably has videos talking about Caillou being a kid with cancer, and they probably showed episodes. Like, you have to do your research. Nobody's gonna do that for you. I'm not lying. That's just like the Rugrats theory, is that they're all dead, and like Phil and Lil, there's a whole, like, I talked about it on my TikTok, like the conspiracy theory around especially the conspiracy theory around Hey Arnold, you know, like how they were trying to claim there's these lost episodes of SpongeBob that are really creepy. You know, but when it comes to Caillou, it wasn't like a conspiracy theory where it was like debunked, because, you know, some of those, thank you for the heart hands, it's like really like, when you think about the backstory, you're kind of like, it makes you wonder. You know, but like with this one, there was episodes, and it's how they treated him, you know, and it was how like certain episodes, and then the creator came forward, and I believe he did say that Caillou was a kid with cancer. What do you mean I'm so gullible? When you look at the backstories of some of these cartoons, some of the creators come forward and say, yeah, like how people said SpongeBob was autistic. And a lot of people, like, when you think about it, they were like, SpongeBob is autistic. And even I believe Tom Kenny said, yeah, SpongeBob is autistic. This is not just stuff to go based off of. Like, then the creators come forward and they say, yeah, you know. So, I mean, all you have to do is just go on YouTube and watch videos. It's free. Donald Trump is a dingbat. That rhymes. Donald Trump made the earth flat. Donald Trump is a dingbat. He's dumb. Look at what happened to all you MAGA supporters that voted for him. He don't need you no more. That's what you get. Kamala lost. Why am I still crying? You know what? It doesn't affect me yet. It will. When you can't afford your groceries, you won't be saying, why are you still crying? When gas prices are too high, people are already losing their jobs because Trump doesn't even know what a tariff is. Mind you, the cost of living in houses are going to go up because he already ruined his chances with Canada providing lumber to America. You know what? Canada said that they're going to stop providing lumber to America. You know what's made out of lumber? Houses. So when you can't have your house built because America can't produce lumber, then you're going to be crying. On top of that, he's trying to cut ties with China. And you know what China provides to America? Precious metals. You know what precious metals are? They're in everything from your cell phones to your computers to everything. So when you don't get those precious metals from China, America can't produce that. See, what Trump is trying to do is make everything made in America. It's not going to work like that. And when we don't get our electronics, when we can't provide food, when he cuts off everything, that's going to be on him. He doesn't even know what a tariff was, and people was already voting for him and they lost their jobs. Boo-hoo, so sad. That's what you get. You got what you voted for. Now he's trying to give your jobs to, right, mind you, which I'm not opposed against. I'm for it because actually the people that was like, these foreigners are taking our jobs. First of all, if they're taking the jobs you don't want, how are they taking your jobs? MAGA sounds so dumb. And then what happened? Oh, so now the people that work for Trump are saying Elon Musk said he wants to give your job to people out of the country because they're better working than American people, because American people don't want to work hard. They don't work hard. They're not hardworking Americans, even though you're the ones that are keeping these people in business. And he says that he wants to give your job to outside people from other countries because you don't want to work. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to you. He was talking to everyone that has a 9-to-5 job. He was not talking to me. He said himself, every person he was talking about was the people who are not the 1% rich that are working a 9-to-5 job. He said you don't want to work hard. Something about not working hard and how that people outside from other countries work harder than you. And he would rather give your job to them instead of you. So that's what you voted for. When you can't find the job, that's on you. That's not on me. I voted accordingly. To say Kamala lost, why are you crying? Wait till you realize just in 1 year how badly Trump fucks up America. Then you're gonna be wishing you don't have to endure the next 3 years, okay? We're already going through it as we speak. You just want to kiss Trump's ass because he said he was going to save TikTok. Who gives a fuck if he was going to save TikTok? He's the same guy that wanted to ban TikTok, which is why this ban is happening in the first place. He's the reason why TikTok's about to be banned. And yet he wants to be this great guy that talks about he's saving TikTok. He's the same guy who pushed for TikTok to be banned. This guy is a dumbass. What kind of a man literally pushes for a TikTok ban saying because of the people who voted for him, that's why he's saving TikTok? If he hadn't won the election, he would have been right there agreeing with the TikTok ban. He's a flip-flopper. He doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. He makes nonsense. No one can understand what the heck he says. He literally ripped word for word his whole speech from Legally Blonde. I posted it on my TikTok. His whole speech was ripped from a movie. Like, he quoted Legally Blonde, trying to act like no one would know. This is the same guy that pushed for TikTok to be banned. Now that it's being banned, all of a sudden people want to kiss his ass because he said he's gonna save it. Like, oh, you want to save the very app you was trying to ban in the first place. That's why he has this social truth social. Mind you, let me tell you how stupid this idiot is. Trump is so stupid, he teamed up with the guy that banned him off of Twitter. Elon Musk is the one who banned him off of Twitter, which is why he made his own app in the first place, because he got banned off TikTok, he got banned off Twitter. All these accounts were telling him he couldn't be on their apps. Now all of a sudden he's allowed to have a Twitter. Now all of a sudden he's on TikTok again. The only reason why he's saving these apps is because they allowed him back on his app. Why do you think he has Truth Social? The only reason why he has Truth Social is because every app didn't allow him on their app. Even Instagram removed him from their app. Which now he has Instagram now. Why do you think all these people let him on their app? They don't want to be banned. They knew if they didn't let Trump on their apps, they would be in it for big trouble. I'm just saying. Like, I don't believe half the shit that comes out of Trump's mouth, because all he spews is straight garbage. It stinks. The same guy who was pushing for a TikTok ban is the same guy that's gonna save TikTok. You gotta be kidding me. That's the biggest joke I've ever heard in my lifetime. That is the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. If I've ever heard a joke that funny, imagine telling someone, so there's this guy named Donald Trump. He pushed for TikTok to be banned, only years later to turn around and save TikTok. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. That sounds like something out of a fairy tale. That sounds like something like you wouldn't believe it if you heard it. Like, he wanted to ban an app and now he's saving the very app he tried to ban. A guy who is literally a convicted rapist, which it was confirmed because the judge agreed and forced him to have to pay his victim, and yet we have a convicted rapist as president. My Lord in heaven. That is wild. My dad's not a pedophile, and for that you're getting blocked. What does that have to do with a man that's running for president? Who's not running for president, who's going to be sworn in president in about a week on the 16th? What are we doing? You're defending a man that has a whole list of women that came forward. What's wrong with you? You're justifying a president as a convicted rapist. Something must be wrong with you. Considering that there are people who are I'm not even going to get into it. He hires someone that works for NBC on one of his staff. What does someone from NBC know about shit? Linda McMahon is the Secretary of Education. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. The Linda McMahon, what does she know about education? Because she worked in education, so that qualifies her? What is she gonna do? Allow people to pull out tables, ladders, and chairs? You cannot make this up if you tried. Trump is the biggest joke to ever be president in the history of presidents. He's a joke. No one could take him seriously. Linda McMahon, whose husband was accused of doing things with women alongside Brock Lesnar. The same woman who literally got, what was it? Stone Cold Stunnered by Stone Cold Steve Austin. That Linda McMahon? Bro, you couldn't make this up if you tried. RFK, there are people in the government right now who are advising against RFK becoming the secretary of, what is it, of food or whatever, where he said he's going to look into the additives in our food. You know, Robert Kennedy Jr., that guy that talks with, like, he smokes 100 packs of cigarettes a day, Marlboro Reds. That's what it sounds like, that he smokes 100 packs of cigarettes a day, and he has that very raspy voice. And Trump hired him to be Secretary of Food or something like that, Food and Health. And literally there's people in the government saying, do not put this man in that position. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And he doesn't. They pulled up stuff that he said back in the day that is crazy. Thank you for subscribing. Like, this whole administration is a joke. It's a joke. They're laughing in your face. It's bad. How can I think for, I am thinking for myself. I'm looking at what Trump is putting out there. Trump was the one that said that he didn't need these people to win the election. Are you kidding me? The same people that he had this MAGA cult behind him. MAGA this, MAGA that, MAGA this, MAGA that, right? But yeah, he said, I don't need you guys to win this election. This guy said that he literally called MAGA idiots. That's basically what he did. He called MAGA idiots. He said, I'll get these idiots to do anything I want. He literally referred to you guys as idiots. Like, Trump, people want to make jokes and say MAGA supporters want to make jokes and literally talk about how Trump or how Biden called them trash, which is why they wore those trash bags, right? They wore trash bags to like Biden called us trash, but Trump has called you guys worse, and you're his supporters. When he was selling the God Bless America Bible, oh my God. Not to mention those tacky ass gold shoes that he tried to sell. Trump is a gimmick, okay? Like, Rosie O'Donnell has been talking about how bad this dude was even before he was president. Rosie O'Donnell saw through his BS. She's never liked him from the beginning, even when he had Celebrity Apprentice. If you look up the disgusting shit he said on Celebrity Apprentice, you'd be shocked. This coming from a man that said, if Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I would sleep with her, while she was sitting next to him and sat on a bus with, who was it, Jeff Bush from Extra, and literally said, grab her by the... Yeah. That's who you want as president? Now, I could understand, you know, Clinton. Well, I don't understand Clinton cheating with Monica Lewinsky, but the worst president of them all is Trump. He's worse than Clinton. Like, hello? Richard Nixon, literally, he didn't drop out. What did he do? He stepped down as president because of Watergate. I know all about Richard Nixon and Watergate. That's why he stepped down. He was shady, just like Hillary Clinton in the emails, like, right? You have to acknowledge that there are some people in office that are just straight up trash, right? We haven't had good presidents because white men will always white men, right? When people say, well, America wasn't racist when they hired Obama, but yet what happened when Obama was in office, right? When Obama became president, he had to fight these allegations that Donald Trump threw out there trying to say that he wanted to see Obama's birth certificate. And for what? Your wife is not even from here, sir. And if you want to do these mass deportations, why don't you look at your wife, huh? Because shouldn't she have to go back to where she came from if you want to denaturalize people? Because let's talk about denaturalization. People don't realize if you're a naturalized citizen and you're from another country, but you're allowed to be here because you legally came here, they're still gonna send you back to your country, even though you're allowed to be here. And what's crazy is that Trump doesn't realize it's gonna affect his wife. The same wife who wore a disgusting jean jacket that said something on it. This is the same guy that let millions of people pass away during COVID because he did nothing about it except stand on national television TV, redneck it, and tell people to inject bleach into their skin because that'll fight off COVID. Where in the world, in the history, have you ever heard a president say something so dumb in their life? No vaccine, no nothing. Live national television telling people to inject bleach into their skin because it'll fight off COVID. I didn't say I was going to love all those Hispanics getting deported. The issue being is that Trump is the most racist president we've ever had and told you to your face exactly what he's going to do. He fails to realize that his wife is one of those foreigners that he loves to shit on. That's a problem. It's always funny that, oh, he hates all these foreigner people coming in, but his wife is one of them. Like, and I hate people that are hypocrites. How do you talk about people who work? And if it wasn't for these foreign people, they're the ones who pay most of y'all's taxes. You fail to realize they help our economy. But yet, somehow, Trump wants to say, see, like what happened in New Orleans. He tried to twist that and say it was because of people coming across the border illegally, that it was a foreigner that came across the border who committed that act of crime. You know who didn't commit an act of crime on January 6th? It was not BLM. It was not Antifa. It was not a foreigner. It was MAGA supporters that were not labeled terrorists. How is it Luigi Mangione, who unalived the CEO because of the policies that are unaliving millions of people, is labeled a terrorist over a man who plowed his truck into people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and they revoked it and said that they are no longer going to call this man a terrorist? You tell me, what justice do we get in America when the wrong people are labeled terrorists? Because Luigi Mangione unalived the CEO because his mother passed away because of those policies. The same policies that deny people to get help or afford their chemo treatments because they have big bucks. All they care about is making money. Children are dying because they cannot receive treatment for their cancer because big companies want to make money rather than make affordable medications for people to live. People can't even afford life-saving medications that can help save their lives. But we want to criminalize those who are fighting, we want to criminalize people who are not criminals, but not criminalize the one who are criminals. This coming from a convicted felon that's running for president, but yet convicted felons can't vote. Make that make sense. Oh, if you're a convicted felon, you can't vote, but you can run for president. If that is not ass backwards, I don't know what is. Trump has 32 guilty. 32. He sat in that court and heard 32 times guilty, 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 guilty. 32 times and still can run for president. Something is wrong. And if you didn't get the memo, because the universe is telling us something. You know, first the man that blew up a Cybertruck in front of Trump Towers. Then lightning that struck the Washington Monument. It struck the Capitol building. And lightning also struck the Empire State Building at the same time. If that is not the elements or natural or, you know, nature telling you something, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is. That's a sign. It's a very, very scary sign. Make all the jokes you want, but Trump is causing World War III. Actually, we are going to go in World War III. He's trying to isolate America from other countries. You think that's bad? He wants to make it so no one ever has to vote again. Imagine being stuck with Trump for the rest of our lives.
We'd be all fucked up.
America's history after that. You think that's bad? I hate all these people that's like, let's do a revolution. Let's be revolutionaries. You don't even have the planning to back up being a revolutionary. The same people that told people vote third party, vote Jill Stein, realized they fucked up. Where are those people? Where are you now? Why aren't you talking about Trump's policies? Oh, because you can't. You know why you didn't vote Kamala Harris, so you have to shut the fuck up. You fucked America. You think that's bad? Police having immunity? That's not even the worst of it. If a police wants to trigger warning target practice on a black person, they can. Because they have immunity. What about the DEI rollbacks? Walmart and a lot of companies rolled back their DEI policies. You know what DEI is for? Discrimination. Now they have a right to not hire you because you're black. There's nothing you can do about it now. If Walmart said we're not hiring you because you're black, you can't make this up. But Trump is such a good person. Trump is such a good person. I already explained why my mom didn't vote. We were going to have her ballot come through the mail. The reason why my mom didn't vote is because she has bladder problems. She pees a lot, and if she would have went by bus, she would have peed herself on the bus. She wouldn't have made it to vote because she has to pee like every second, kind of. Right now, she doesn't have to pee as long as she doesn't do things that cause her, you know, there's a lot of things that cause her to pee a lot, but right now she doesn't have to pee. That's why we're at the library, so we have the restroom. That's why we're working on getting a place where we have a restroom, right? But she has health issues that prevented her from going. That's why at the other place I was looking up how to get the ballot mailed in because I forgot. Because I don't really remember what I did last time to have my ballot mailed in when I voted for Joe Biden. So I was going to have it mailed, but then we got kicked out of where we were living. And then she couldn't go because she would have peed herself. But she said if she would have went, she would have voted for Kamala Harris. So there's that. Mind you, this coming from a man that couldn't even step foot in Albuquerque because he owes the city and had to have his rally at the airport, the Sunport, because he couldn't even step foot in Albuquerque because he owes the city. The same guy who trashed New Mexico to begin with when the riots happened, when the last time Trump came, there was a riot. People broke the windows of the convention center. Tear gas was thrown into the crowd. Mind you, I said, you know what, it would be kind of cool just to go say, hey, you know, go see Trump. I don't like Trump, but, you know, I was like, nah, and it's a good thing. I wasn't even downtown doing errands either, or I would have been tear gassed, jumping on top of cop cars, the police horses. There was all of this commotion because Trump showed up, and Trump called everyone their animals. He said disgusting things about New Mexicans because of the riots. Well, who do you think caused those riots? When you're inciting violence, you're the one that are telling these people. He literally said if he didn't win, to go out and cause a bloodbath. What does that tell you? This man literally incites violence everywhere he goes. He's the one who literally causes all the violence. He was the reason why January 6th happened, and he refuses to acknowledge it. His tweet was the reason why people went out and tried to take over the Capitol. He's the one who told MAGA supporters, take back America. If that's not telling people to do what they did that day, I don't know what is. He's not sitting in jail. Y'all are sitting in jail. He didn't even care that you went to jail for him. My dad's not a Trump supporter. My dad hates Trump. My dad's not a Trump supporter. He always makes jokes because sometimes he used to joke with us and say, see, look at how good Trump is doing. And then he would laugh because he knows Trump is not doing anything. My dad does not like the government in general. He does not like anybody from the government, period. People that are bipolar schizophrenic, they don't like the police and they don't like the government. You know, that's just... Yeah, obviously on Twitter, he's wrote some disgusting things towards government officials, which he doesn't go do. He doesn't act out on his threats. He believes if he writes it down, it goes through. That's the type of thing. Like, he won't go out there and do it. He says, I wrote it down, so it's gonna happen. You know, there's a lot of things that he said that is not good, but he doesn't go out there and do it. But he hates the government. Any government official for that matter. Sometimes he might say something that to the effect of like, it seems like he likes Donald Trump, but he hates any and every government official. For anybody that is bipolar schizophrenic, that's basically anyone with bipolar. I don't know if it's just bipolar or bipolar schizophrenia, but I know a lot of people with bipolar, they hate the government and they hate the police. The law is something they do not like in general. You stink, you stink, you stink, I'm just kidding. Someone said you stink, so I had to make a song. I have to get off anyways and get on my Switch. Darn it. It's not opening my cap. It's just stuck. There we go. I thought you said shitting in jail. I was about to say, what? How come it just doesn't want to close? There we go. I'm gonna get out because I'm gonna go play my Switch. So, yeah. Have a good day or night where you guys are. See you guys later. But I'm gonna go get under the covers and get my game system. I might play Fall Guys or something. I don't know. But have a good day or night where you guys are. We'll see you guys later. Let me open up the chat. Thank you for liking, gifting, commenting, watching, and subscribing. We got 6 new subscribers, so thank you. Anyways, guys, have a good day or night where you guys are. And we'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye-bye. Good night. Stay safe. Okay, guys. Bye.